A very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television, your one-stop morning show for top stories from India and around the globe. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor and here are the headlines. 14 business-to-business and business-to-government agreements between India and Singapore. Prime Minister terms bilateral ties warmest and closest. Keynote address today to articulate regional security issues at the Shangri-La Dialogue. Centre keeps a growth forecast for current fiscal unchanged at 7.5%. Finance Minister Piyush Goyal says on track for higher growth. Fastest GDP growth in 7 quarters at 7.7% on the back of good manufacturing, service and farm output. Nipah virus claims one more life in Kerala. Death toll at 16. Delhi government issues advisory, asks people to avoid consuming raw date palm sap and mangoes that have fallen off trees. US imposes metal import tariffs on key allies in Europe and North America. 25% tariff on steel and 15% on aluminium imposed. EU calls it a bad day for world trade. 28-member bloc to announce countermeasures soon. And Rohan Bopanna and his French partner enter pre-quarter-finals of the men's doubles in the French Open. Rafael Nadal, Marin Cilic and Dominic Thiem enter the third round of men's singles. Sharapova, Muguruza and Halep also in round 3 in the women's singles. Our top story this morning, all eyes will be on Prime Minister Narendra Modi today as he delivers the keynote address at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore. It will be the first time that an Indian Prime Minister will speak at the dialogue. Since it's launched in 2002, the Shangri-La Dialogue has emerged as a premier track 1 conversation among top leaders, key ministers and defence representatives from Asia. It is expected that Prime Minister Modi will speak about security in the Indo-Pacific region and India's role in the world undergoing geopolitical flux. He is also likely to outline how India sees the regional security architecture evolving to foster greater dialogue and address emerging challenges. This includes the role of India that it intends to perform in platforms like the ASEAN-India Summit and the East Asia Forum, etc. And tomorrow, US Secretary of Defense James Mattis will speak at the dialogue on US leadership and challenges in the region. And other engagements for the Prime Minister today in Singapore will be meeting President Halima Jacob. He will then hold summit-level talks with the Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. Both the leaders are expected to discuss enhancing cooperation in the fields of skill development, smart cities, artificial intelligence, among other issues. And earlier on day 1 of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Singapore, India and Singapore announced 14 business-to-business and business-to-government agreements. Now, the agreements include supporting India's innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem and promoting Indian innovation abroad, to set up Indian institutes of skills on wastewater management and recycling, on the promotion of Make in India in Singapore and ASEAN, and commercial collaboration in the space sector and the development of Singapore's space industry, among others. Earlier, Prime Minister Modi invited Singapore-based companies to invest in India, saying that almost all sectors of India have been opened up for FDI.
For the last leg of his 3-nation tour in the ASEAN region, Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Singapore on Thursday. He held a roundtable interaction with major companies and addressed the Indian diaspora and local business people.
For Singapore, there is no better opportunity than India. Few countries have so much in common and so much in potential as India and Singapore. We mirror each other in our societies and we wish the same future for our region. We pursue a world based on rule of law and connected by open seas and a stable trade regime.
Complimenting Singapore, Prime Minister Modi termed it virtually as a gateway to ASEAN for India. The Prime Minister said India has reviewed the comprehensive partnership between the two countries and intends to upgrade it further. He said India is also working to finalize regional comprehensive partnership with ASEAN.
In India, the present is changing rapidly. A new India is taking place, and there are many reasons for it. One, economic reforms are taking place at a speed and a scale not known so far. Over 10,000 measures by central and state governments in the last 2 years have helped us move up to 42 places in the ease of doing businesses. Over 1,400 outdated laws have been repealed. India is among the most open economies in the world. Foreign investors can go into almost all sectors, often with up to 100% equity.
While lauding the development of Singapore as a major landmark, Prime Minister Modi termed business to be at the heart of the bilateral relations.
It is a relationship that truly meets the test of strategic partnership. When India opened up the world and turned to the east, Singapore became a partner and a bridge between India and ASEAN. Political relations between India and Singapore are among the warmest and closest. There are no contents or claims or doubts. It is a natural partnership from a shared vision. Our defense relations are among the strongest for both. My armed forces speak with great respect and admiration for Singaporeans' armed forces. India's longest continuous naval exercise is with Singapore. They are making their silver jubilee now. We are proud to host Singapore's Army and Air Force for training in India.
Prime Minister Modi also used the occasion to promote 3 mobile apps, Bheem app, SBI app and RuPay app to connect common Singaporeans with the Indian banking system. This is the second official visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Singapore. He was in Malaysia and Indonesia before reaching Singapore.
Congratulations.
Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Thank you very much, Mr. Soma Prasad. Maybe thank.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi also visited the India-Singapore Enterprise and Innovation Exhibition being held at the Marina Bay Sands Convention Centre. The exhibition showcased innovation in front-end technologies, including artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, data analytics, blockchain and innovation for social impact. The exhibition was put up jointly by Indian and Singaporean companies. Prime Minister Modi was being led on a tour of the exhibition where he was informed about the innovative technologies and equipment on display at the exhibition. Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong accompanied Prime Minister Modi at the exhibition. On to the other top story of the day. After India retained the fastest growing major economy tag, Finance Minister Piyush Goyal has asserted that nation's economy is on the right track. India's GDP grew at the fastest pace in 7 quarters at 7.7% in January to March. Following the report, Goyal added that the nation is now set to achieve even higher growth in the future, highlighting that the manufacturing and construction areas also provide employment. Goyal said that an immense growth in the field of manufacturing, agriculture and construction has also been recorded.
एक कंटिन्यूअस ट्रेंड लाइन विकास की देखने को मिल रही है। इसमें एग्रीकल्चर भी ग्रो हुआ है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में 9% से अधिक ग्रोथ हुई है, कंस्ट्रक्शन सेक्टर में 11.5% ग्रोथ हुई है और ख़ास तौर पे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और कंस्ट्रक्शन ये दोनों लोगों को नए नए रोजगार के काम करने के अवसर भी देती है। तो मैं समझता हूँ ये हम सबके लिए खुशी की बात है कि देश तेजी से आर्थिक प्रगति कर रहा है। ग्रॉस कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन में भी लगभग 10% की वृद्धि हुई है।
And India retained the tag of world's fastest growing major economy in the January to March quarter, surpassing China. For the whole of 2017-18, India's GDP growth came in at 6.7%. Here are the details.
The Indian economy gained further momentum in January-March quarter, posting a robust GDP growth of 7.7%, well above China's 6.8% for the quarter ending in March. The growth figures for the fourth quarter are the highest since the demonetization in November 2016 and GST rollout in July 2017.
Very good growth in the fourth quarter on manufacturing and construction. Construction especially 11.5% on the back of the negative growth in the quarter fourth last year. So manufacturing at 9.1% and construction at 11.5% is the big story, which also indicate to my mind the turnaround in the economy, which going forward would also give a good momentum to the growth. So all numbers good. The rest of the economy, agriculture also did very well in the quarter fourth.
The agriculture sector grew at 4.5%, while manufacturing sector registered 9.1% and construction at 11.5%. Rapid growth in various sectors contributed to the overall growth. India has regained its status as the fastest growing major economy in the world in the October-December quarter. Its GDP or gross domestic product growth fell to a 3-year low of 5.7% in the April-June quarter due to destocking in a run-up to the 1st July launch of the Goods and Services Tax. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
And India and World Bank have signed a $500 million loan agreement to provide additional financing for the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana Rural Roads Project. The project will build 7,000 kilometers of climate-resilient roads, out of which 3,500 kilometers will be constructed using green technologies. The World Bank has so far invested over $1.8 billion in loans and credits, mostly across Bihar, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Meghalaya, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh. It has built and improved about 35,000 kilometers of rural roads and benefited about 8 million people with access to all-weather roads. And Mizoram, Odisha, Punjab, Chhattisgarh, Goa and Jammu and Kashmir will roll out the e-way bill system for the intra-state movement of goods today. Besides, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal will roll out the same on 2nd and 3rd of June respectively. Now, as per the decision of the GST Council, the e-way bill has been rolled out from 1st of April. As on 30th of May, the e-way bill system for intra-state movement of goods has been rolled out in 21 states along with the Union Territories. More than 6 crore and 30 lakh e-way bills have been successfully generated till 30th of May, which includes more than 2 crore e-way bills for intra-state movement of goods. And in Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back after the break. The Election Commission has initiated a probe into the large-scale failure of the paper trail machines during the 28th of May by-poll to Lok Sabha and Assembly seats. It has sent two teams to Kairana in Uttar Pradesh and Bhandara Gondia in Maharashtra to trace the reasons behind the high cases of defects and failure in the VVPAT machines. The reports are likely to be submitted by 5th of June. Repoll was ordered in 49 polling stations across 5 assembly segments in Bhandara Gondia and 74 booths in Kairana after voting was delayed for hours due to the malfunctioning of paper trail machines and the EVMs. On to some other news now. 130 farmers' organizations under the Rashtriya Kisan Mahasangh are observing a 10-day nationwide strike from today. Their demands include increase of minimum support price to the cost of production plus a 50% and a complete loan waiver from the government. Supply of farm products like vegetables, grains and milk to cities is likely to be hit. Big story from Kerala, where another death has been reported due to the Nipah virus, taking the total death toll in the state to 16. Following the Kerala deaths, the Delhi government has issued health advisories on Nipah, asking people to be careful in consuming fruits. It has asked people to stop consuming raw date palm sap and mangoes that have fallen off trees. Remember, no cases of the virus have been reported in the national capital so far. And on to some weather news now. In North India, no let-up in the ongoing heat wave conditions as the region braved a scorching sun on the last day of May as well. Delhi braved a hot and humid day with the maximum temperature settling at 41.2 degrees Celsius. And as per Met officials, the temperatures increased by 1 to 2 degrees Celsius in most parts of Rajasthan, with Sriganganagar with 48.1 degrees Celsius. Bikaner recorded its maximum temperature at 46.8 degrees Celsius, followed by Jaisalmer, Churu and 43.2 degrees Celsius in Kota. Meanwhile, heatwave conditions also continue to prevail in most parts of Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. Meanwhile, light to moderate rain and thunderstorm occurred at isolated places in Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan. The weather department also said that rain and thunder showers are very likely at isolated places over the state today and tomorrow. And in Delhi, partly cloudy skies with the strong surface winds are forecast for today. Let us take a look at all the weather updates and heat wave conditions from across the country. Let's get you all the international news now. The US has slapped tariffs on steel and aluminium imports from the EU, Canada and Mexico. The US has imposed 25% tax on steel and 15% tax on aluminium imports. Meanwhile, these nations have already announced retaliatory measures as the US follows its new policy. Canada has objected strongly to the announced tariffs, saying that the moves is an affront to their nation's military alliance. It said it will impose retaliatory tariffs on the US. Remember, Canada buys half of US steel exports. Meanwhile, EU has called the US's decision as totally unacceptable. European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker said that he plans to take the US to the World Trade Organization or the WTO. And Mexico has said that it will continue negotiating with the US to revamp the North American Free Trade Agreement. And uncertainty over the proposed summit on 12th of June between US President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un continues. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on Thursday said that he still does not know whether the summit will take place. This after Pompeo met North Korean envoy Kim Yong-chol for a second day of talks in New York on Thursday. Pompeo said that the two sides have made progress towards a successful meeting between Trump and Kim Jong-un, but that challenges remain. Pompeo added that the two nations are at a pivotal moment and that it would be nothing short of tragic to let this opportunity go waste.
In addition to my meeting with Vice Chairman Kim Young-chol, we have teams in Singapore and at the DMZ working with their North Korean counterparts to prepare for President Trump and Chairman Kim's expected summit in Singapore. Through these series of meetings, I'm confident we're moving in the right direction.
Meanwhile, a South Korean delegation led by Unification Minister Cho Myong-gon are holding talks with North Korean officials in the demilitarized zone today. The discussions are expected to provide a positive environment for a proposed US and North Korea summit. The North-South talks have resumed after the 26th of May surprise summit between the two Koreas. North Korea had earlier cancelled high-level talks with the South at the last minute in protest over the joint exercises between Seoul and Washington. On to all the sporting action now. Indian tennis ace Rohan Bopanna and his French partner Edouard Roger Vasselin secured their place in the pre-quarter-finals after winning against France's Benjamin Bonzi and Gregor Jacques in their last 32 clash. Also, Rafael Nadal, who hasn't lost a set at the French Open since 2015, completed another win in straight sets to reach the third round. Title challengers Marin Cilic and Dominic Thiem also managed to struggle into the French Open last 32. And in the women's singles, top-ranked Simona Halep, third-seeded Gabrielle Muguruza and two-time champion Maria Sharapova all powered into the French Open's third round with straight-set victories. And two-time Commonwealth Games champion Sangeeta Chanu was provisionally suspended after she tested positive for a banned anabolic steroid. The International Weightlifting Federation imposed the ban after Chanu tested positive for testosterone and is provisionally suspended in view of the potential anti-doping rule violation. Meanwhile, the Indian Weightlifting Federation requested a B sample test from the International Weightlifting Federation to prove Chanu's innocence. If proven guilty of drug abuse, Chanu can be suspended for up to 4 years, which will end her hopes of competing in this year's Asian Games as well as the Tokyo Olympics in 2020. On to our special report now. Utilizing the full potential of rivers for transport of goods by developing inland waterways remains one of the key agenda of Narendra Modi government. The government got the National Waterways Act 2016 passed by Parliament to facilitate the creation of 111 national riverways across the country. Now, as per reports, 10 out of the total 111 proposed waterways are to become operational by the end of 2018. Rajya Sabha TV tracked the steps taken by the government to promote this sunrise sector. So we leave you with this special report. Thanks for watching.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron's boat trip in Ganga River in Varanasi was perhaps more than just optics. It reinforced government seriousness in harnessing inland waterways for commercial purposes. During old days, different river systems around the country were used to ferry passengers and goods. But with the advent of railroad network, water transport gradually lost its relevance, though now its fortunes are on upswing. The current regime moves to exploit full potential of this sector. Currently, work is on to develop 111 national waterways, including 106 new routes. Sectors related to heavy machinery, cement and fertilizers have evinced keen interest to utilize the facilities once the infrastructure is in place. As per the projections, this sector will create more than 1 lakh jobs in near future.
49% कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट रोजगार निर्माण करने पे खर्चा होती है और वहाँ के युवाओं को रोजगार मिलेगा। दूसरा, वहाँ फिशिंग बढ़ेगा। फिशिंग से भी हमारे मच्छीमार जो है उनको फ़ायदा होगा और उसके साथ साथ उसके रोड के बाजू में इंडस्ट्री आएगी, गोडाउन्स आएंगे, प्रीकूलिंग प्लांट आएंगे, कोल्ड स्टोरेज आएंगे, फ्रूट्स वेजिटेबल एक्सपोर्ट होंगे। एक नया दालन विकास का खुलेगा और मुझे लगता है कि ये बहुत बड़ा गेम चेंजर होगा।
The inland waterways sector remained on back burner since independence. Till 11th plan, it received a meager rupees 1200 for the development. Though now with renewed focus on the sector, the government has allowed Waterways Authority of India to issue bonds worth rupees 1000 crore to rejuvenate it. During 2016-17, the authority raised rupees 340 crores through bonds. The additional fund of rupees 296 crores were given by the government. The budget allocation to the sector is now witnessing consistent spike. While it was earlier rupees 434 crores in 2017-18, it has been raised to rupees 500 crore currently.
हम लोगों ने ऑलरेडी काम शुरू कर दिया है और तकरीबन 18% काम इस पूरे इतने बड़े प्रोजेक्ट का ग्राउंड पर चालू हो चुका है.
India has 14,500 kilometer long waterways. They consist of rivers, lakes and backwaters. The current focus of the government is to invest in the most profitable routes. They are Barak in Assam, Agra in Uttar Pradesh, Kosi in Bihar, Mandvi, Juvri and Kambarjua in Goa and Sundarban in West Bengal. There is special focus to develop national waterways, one from Haldia to Allahabad on the lines of dedicated freight corridor. Rupees 5,369 crores have been allocated to create the necessary infrastructure. This project is also receiving financial and technical inputs from the World Bank.
बहुत बड़ा इंजीनियरिंग प्रोजेक्ट हम लोग कर रहे हैं, बड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स और चैलेंजिंग प्रोजेक्ट है. 2000 करोड़ का प्रोजेक्ट ऑलमोस्ट ग्राउंड पे है 5400 में से. ये 4 साल में स्टडीज हुई, क्लियरेंसेज हुए, फाइनेंस का क्लियरेंस हुआ, वर्ल्ड बैंक का अप्रूवल हुआ, कैबिनेट कमेटी का अप्रूवल हुआ और ग्राउंड पे काम शुरू हो गया है.
Currently, the work is on in full swing in National Waterways 4. This route was inaugurated by Honorable Vice President Venkaiah Naidu last year. In India, the inland waterways cargo shipping remains grossly underutilized. It has less than 1% of market share compared to railroad network. Many countries, including Bangladesh, are way ahead of India on this count. The green shoots are now visible due to active government intervention. In 2014-15, the cargo shipment through inland waterways was 6.33 million tons. It has touched 55.20 million tons in recent times.
हमारी सरकार ने हाईवे, रेलवे, एयरवे, वाटरवे, हाईवे और बिजली से जुड़े इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर सबसे अधिक ध्यान दिया है. देश के जल शक्ति का भी पूरा इस्तेमाल करने पर जोर दिया जा रहा है. देश में 100 से ज्यादा नए वाटरवेज बनाए जा रहे हैं. यहां यूपी में ही गंगा जी में जहाज चलने लगे हैं. गंगा जी के माध्यम से यूपी सीधा सीधा समंदर से जुड़ने वाला है.
As per the report, the inland waterways outscores railroad network when it comes to economy of construction, movement and cargo shipping. A strong barrage can carry 15 rail wagon or 60 trucks. Keeping in mind the accruing benefits, the government plans to ensure at least 2% market share for the inland waterways in the cargo transport. To ensure this, it's also adding rolling stock like ships and barges on the focused route. Inland waterways has huge potential for tourism. Activities like river cruise, boating, water sports can be major economic spin-off in the chosen region. The Parliamentary Committee on Transport Tourism has thrown its weight behind the development of this sector, which could also be a major hub of job creation. Arvind Kumar Singh's report for Rajya Sabha TV.